This video is titled The Burger King Murders. I'm not gonna lie, murdering somebody in or over Burger King is one of the most ridiculous things you can do as a human being. So let's go ahead and get to this video from the gamer from Mars. So let's go ahead and watch this.
Theft. 30-year-old Winston.
You don't know me. What? Burger King.
You like Burger King?
No, I don't like fucking Burger King.
Okay,
I think it's weird how you can get 10 nuggets for $2.
Yeah, that is. You can get like 50. I ain't gonna lie. Murder.
Niggas added me fast as fuck.
Murders. Then somebody already added him. That's tough.
Theft. 30-year-old Winston Glynn arraigned in Manhattan criminal court tonight, accused of a murder so heinous it has shaken this city.
Assault.
Paul Leahy, a repeat offender, stabbed her 27 times.
Whoppers. Today we'll be looking at some of the most heinous crimes committed in Burger King restaurants. And the worst part of all of this is the degeneracy is probably only getting started.
Why is it in Burger King restaurants? Why are there so many crimes in Burger Kings?
Because it's Burger King, nigga. Imagine, I'm not gonna lie, imagine getting packed up in a Burger King. That's bad final locations. I'm not gonna hold you. That is horrible final locations.
I can't even say where it was, where the last Burger King I was in.
I haven't been to Burger King in like fucking 3 years, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just letting y'all know, for my women and my men out here, if you're going with somebody on a date or whatever and they take you to Burger King, they don't love you, you can leave. You know what I'm saying?
Is your shit private? Is your shit private over here?
Oh, no, niggas see my shit.
Oh.
On the night of August 15th, 1984, Ronaldo and Onelia Betancourt were beginning their shift at a Burger King in Miami, Florida. The couple had been employed as janitors there for some time, cleaning the restaurant after closing in order to make it spotless for customers the next day. Their 20-year-old son, Ronaldo Jr., also had a job at the establishment during the day shift. That night, around 3 a.m., the young man arrived at Burger King in order to borrow his parents' car for his side gig delivering newspapers. As he drove away, he had no idea about the tragedy that would soon befall him. The young man returned to his family's house.
Put some respect on BK. People who eat at Burger King fucking sell their child support to fucking drug addicts. Just know that to be fact. If you are eating at Burger King, you get your child support payment and you sell it for crack. Just saying.
House at 6 o'clock in the morning, but was surprised to find that his parents were not home yet, and returned to Burger King to investigate. As he pulled into the parking lot, he was shocked to find the place swarming with police cars. This was when he made the horrible discovery. Sometime in the last couple hours, Ronaldo and Onelia had been murdered by gunshots to the chest. This left the young Betancourt and the entire community reeling. And it was not the first act of violence against the fast food workers in the area. In fact, Burger King had long been considering moving its corporate office out of Miami due to the city's high crime rate. Nevertheless, the fast food enterprise expressed their condolences for the deaths of their employees and offered a $10,000 bounty for information about their killer. With that, the hunt was on to find the perpetrator of his heinous crime. Police received an anonymous tip just a little over a week after the incident, leading to them apprehending a man by the name of David Cook. After some questioning, he soon confessed. According to him, that night he had been planning to rob the
okay. First of all, you're robbing a fucking Burger King. This nigga is the lowest common denominator. Out of all places, by the way, don't rob people in GTA. Out of all places, why would you ever think about robbing a Burger King, nigga? You know, when I was working at Panera, I was like, damn, what if a nigga come in here and rob me right now? Like, I always think that. I was like, damn, what would I do right now if a nigga just fucking told me to take all the money at the register, my nigga, and tried to rob me at Panera? I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy, nigga. Like, there's so many other areas.
Burger King with the help of two friends, Derek Hansen and Melvin Nairn. The three men camped out behind the building, waiting for someone to come out the back door. When Ronaldo exited in order to take out the trash, Cook ambushed him and shoved the man back inside. He then took out a gun and started demanding that his victim open the safe. Ronaldo desperately attempted to convince his attacker that he did not speak English, but to no avail. Eventually, in a brief moment of confusion, the janitor was able to grab hold of a metal pipe which he used to hit Cook in the leg. During the commotion, the burglar opened fire, striking Ronaldo in the chest. This is when Onelia...
my nigga Ronaldo ain't even know what was going on, bro. Y'all fucked up.
Burst into the room upon hearing the noise and was horrified by what she saw. In a frenzy, she lunged at Cook, grabbing him by the legs in an attempt to prevent his escape. But this only earned her the same grim fate as her husband. The killer and his accomplices then fled the scene. Cook stressed to officers that he had never intended to kill the Burger King employees and had only been
nigga, you was robbing a fucking Burger King in the dead of night. What are you
aiming for their arms? The testimonies of his accomplices backed up this version of events. Despite this, the court took no pity on David Cook. While he received a sentence of life in prison for Ronaldo's murder, the death of Onelia was enough to get him the death penalty. Cook's lawyers attempted to fight back on this, filing several appeals in the following years. This has proven effective at delaying the punishment, but he still remains on death row even all these decades later.
Damn, the nigga's still on death row, nigga. Like, what is y'all waiting for? Nigga, the last name is Cook and he's robbing a Burger King. Like, that don't make no sense, my nigga.
While the murder of Mr. and Mrs. Betancourt is a tragedy, it is unfortunately all too common for fast food employees. We'll learn more about this after a brief word from our sponsor. If you're a man...
Okay, see, we skipping those, but some of y'all might want to tune in for that one.
Late at night on January 9th, 2022, 19-year-old Crystal Baron Nieves was working behind the counter at a...
Nigga, who the fuck is that? Nigga, who is that? Oh.
And nigga just walking through.
Nigga, is that Cometa? Nigga looking directly at... Nigga, is that Cometa? Who is that, nigga? Low tier guy? There's just a nigga looking directly at the fucking camera.
Burger King in East Harlem. She had always been nervous about taking a late shift in such a dangerous neighborhood and had complained about this to her manager frequently. In fact, she had been scheduled to start working during the day, which would begin the following week. Unfortunately, this would never come to pass. At a quiet point in the night, when the restaurant was empty save for employees,
I'm gonna not show this just in case.
A masked man entered the establishment and pulled out a gun. He started by pistol whipping the manager, knocking them to the ground and taking their phone before setting his sights on the young girl behind the counter. He insisted she give him the cash from the register, and she complied.
Why the Burger King though? Why the Burger King?
By giving him the $100 that was inside. The gunman demanded more money, but his teenage victim pleaded that there was nothing else.
And by the way, if you're a robber, are you a fucking idiot, nigga? If they give you all the money in there, nigga, and you ask for more money, the fuck do you want them to pull it out their ass, nigga? Like, where do you think the money's gonna come from, my nigga? It's not, because it's not gonna come from there.
He did not take this news well, opening fire on Crystal and shooting her dead before fleeing the scene. Immediately after the killing, detectives got to work finding the perpetrator. They tracked his movements prior to the murder all the way to 110th Street, where he stopped at a bodega and used his EBT card to purchase a drink.
Okay, robbing a Burger King, EBT card. I can already kind of see what he looks like. I'm about to see a pattern here. I don't want to judge, but just saying. And
what state is it in?
I'm thinking it's New York.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like we already know what the nigga
Stop to the bodega to get him. Yeah.
Yeah. The nigga is definitely like, you know, he's a
drink. This is how investigators.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I knew it was one of me.
Yeah, we knew it was a brother. We hate to see it, but nigga, it just is what it is. As soon as I heard EBT, bodega, New York, and robbing Burger King, I just knew what time it was.
Investigators were able to get a name, Winston Glenn. It's worth noting that he was already in the police's system, as he had racked up 7 arrests prior to this point. With this information, they were able to discover that he was staying at a hotel not too far away. In addition, they poured over video from the Burger King surveillance cameras
nigga has all them fucking charges too, bro.
Recorded on the night of the murder, finally spotting a distinctive belt worn by the suspect, which Glenn had also been seen wearing in photos posted to his Instagram. This was enough for police to arrest the man a few days later on charges of murder. After the fact, Crystal's family and community mourned her loss and wondered how such a horrible event could be allowed to happen. Aurelia
to broke ass fucking stealing from the fucking Burger King, nigga. You not that smart, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you're not that smart robbing a Burger King. And by the way, again, it's not good to rob places, but nigga, Burger King, bro. You could have gone to a Chick-fil-A, nigga, or like a Panera Bread, nigga. Or like a Shake Shack, nigga. They would have got you right at Shake Shack, but nigga, you gonna go to Burger King, bro? What the fuck is
There's a Shake Shack, bro. We should go one.
Really? We should.
Like
I had Shake Shack like once, but no, we definitely need some alcohol. But like, nigga, like, come on, bro. Like, there's so many. He could have went in and asked for a job application instead, nigga. For all that, bro, you could have just got a job there, bro, in GTA.
Varys, the president of the New York State Latino Restaurant Owners Group, lambasted Burger King for lacking the security necessary to protect their employees. The lawyer for the slain girl's family, Sanford Rubenstein, took things a step further, threatening to sue the fast food juggernaut for negligence. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Winston Glenn was not going down without a fight, as police led him out of the precinct and handcuffs a few days after his arrest. A crowd had gathered to jeer at him as he walked to the waiting cop car. This enraged Glenn, who began shouting at the mob.
Nigga, you talking back, but you in cuffs, nigga, so it's like, bro, you could say whatever you want to, you're going to jail.
Things did not get better with time. As he sat in court for his arraignment hearing and the judge read out the list of charges, Glenn decided to begin shouting "liar" at the top of his lungs. This did not convince anyone of his innocence, and the suspect was sent off to Rikers Island awaiting trial. Glenn continued insisting his innocence behind bars, comparing his struggle to the likes of Nelson Mandela and Jesus Christ. Currently, comparing his struggle to the likes of Nelson Mandela and Jesus Christ.
Nigga, they crucified Jesus, bro. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ, bro. What, literally, bro? What is he talking about? You think he Kanye West? Utter nonsense? Like...
Currently, Winston remains behind bars, and his innocence or guilt has yet to be proven. While these first two incidents have involved the deaths of innocent Burger King employees, our final story shows that sometimes the danger can come from behind the counter as well. Paul Leahy grew up the youngest of 3 children in the small town of Abington, Massachusetts. According to his siblings, he had always been immature, having been babied by their doting mother. This manifested into a rebellious streak as Paul aged into his teen years, and he began drinking, smoking, and using drugs.
Damn.
As his sister said of him years later, whatever was out there, Paul was doing it. Things only became worse.
Nobody thought to give nigga some help or something like that, like...
when his mother died of heart failure when he was just 18. This is when Paul started getting arrested for a litany of crimes, ranging from property violations, drug possession, and assault and battery. It wouldn't be until Leahy was in his early 20s that things got really out of control though. One night while at his brother's house, the drug-addled young man took out a knife and forced a 13-year-old babysitter into the bathroom, touching and then threatening her if she tried to run. For this, he served 6 months behind bars.
How the fuck he had 6 months for that? Oh no, this nigga is lost it. I'm not gonna lie to you. He lost it. He really lost it.
Very soon after being released, he once again forced another woman into a bathroom at knife point. This time, a 21-year-old employee at a pizza restaurant. He went much further in this instance though, going so far as to assault her on the floor. The young victim was able to make her escape after a momentary distraction allowed her to bite Leahy on the arm and run for help. The serial offender was once again arrested, spending the next 13 years of his life in prison.
Damn,
upon being returned to the outside world...
There's no way this nigga's about to get 13 years, get back on the outside, and then fucking proceed to do another crime. Like, cause at that point, bro, y'all just gotta take bro out. I'm not gonna hold you. If that's the case, If bro got 13 years, gets out and does something else, y'all just got to take him out at that point. Like,
Paul went to live with his sister and her husband. While he worked the occasional construction job, he largely remained unemployed. While she tried desperately to support her brother and help him get his life on track, it was clear that he was very much set in his ways. Leahy managed to at least remain on the right side of the law for a couple years, but after a drunk driving arrest in 2000, he started to backslide. He found 2 young teenage girls, purchased cigarettes for them, and lured them out into the woods. His would-be victims managed to flee before he was able to do anything though, and the handcuffs were slapped around Paul's wrists yet again. This time, however, prosecutors wanted to throw the book at him. They felt as though Paul had more than proven himself to be a danger to society, and wanted to have him civilly committed rather than put him back on the streets. But the judge disagreed, stating that there was not sufficient evidence to prove that he presented enough of a danger to society to justify keeping him locked up. Thus, Leahy was returned to the care of his sister yet again. He soon got a job.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how the fuck the judge is actually on crack cocaine, because there's no way he let this nigga back out.
At a rest stop Burger King in the nearby town of Bridgewater, and both his sister and her husband stated that Paul seemed excited to finally start earning a real living for himself. Little did they know the true level of depravity their relative was capable of. Alexandra Zapp grew up in Portland, Oregon with her mother and sister. According to everyone who knew her, she was a friendly and kind young woman, with a passion for sailing, publishing, and charity work. Upon graduating from high school, she moved to Boston in order to pursue her dreams. On the evening of July 18, 2002, Alexandra was invited by a friend to partake in a cruise to benefit the Save the Harbor Foundation. After a night of fun and charitable donations, Zapp began the long drive home. Around midnight, she pulled over at a rest stop in Bridgewater and entered the bathroom, passing a sinister Burger King employee taking a smoke break outside of the restaurant on her way there. When she opened the door to leave, Alexandra found herself face to face with Paul Leahy, who was—
And bro's unhinged, nigga. How's you on break at work, nigga? You just— this is the type of time that you like, that makes no sense. Nigga's unhinged, bro.
Was carrying a knife and had a wild look in his eye. The repeat offender shoved his latest victim into a stall in the back of the room. The woman screamed and tried to fight back, scratching and biting at her attacker's arms. This commotion caught the attention of Stephen O'Reilly, an off-duty police lieutenant who was in the men's room next door. As he approached the woman's restroom, O'Reilly could already see blood oozing out from under the door. He burst in as fast as he could, gun drawn, but he was too late. Alexandra was dead in the stall, and Leahy stood at the sink holding her wallet. Reportedly, all he could say was, "I lost it. I just lost
The judge is actually fucking dumb as fuck for even letting this nigga out, bro.
it." He was arrested
thought
and
this nigga was about to change his life around, nigga, after committing multiple crimes. Nigga, if he didn't learn after 13 years, the dude is a lost cause. I'm not gonna cap.
held without bail on charges of murder, armed robbery, kidnapping, armed assault, and intent to rob. In September of that year, Paul Leahy was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In her honor, Alexandra's mother and stepfather created the Alley Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to ending sexual violence. So there you have
the video from the gamer from Mars. I'm not gonna lie, nigga. She just wanted to go to the bathroom type shit, and then that happened. Like, the judge is actually a fucking idiot, my nigga. But it just goes to show, nigga, that you're not really safe nowhere. If you're not safe in a Burger King, where can you be safe at? Well, actually, you're never safe in a Burger King, actually, or a Waffle House, or actually most areas. But it's just like, damn, niggas go to Burger King to eat, and then niggas is doing all that bullshit.
I mean, you still know what the Burger King to eat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Burger King's already
Rest
bad
in peace,
location,
though.
Burger King's already bad location. But to the niggas who are robbing Burger King, I'm not gonna lie, nigga. Y'all niggas are idiots. I'm not gonna cap. That's probably the worst location you can go. I'm not gonna hold you. But all right, good video though. Good video. Burger King is good. Eat. Stop it, bro. Whatever you want to do, man. But you might as well eat Arby's at that point, my nigga.